Factsverse presents. Doctors and nurses revealed what happens when a dad works out that the baby isn't theirs. For a man, becoming a father is one of the most important jobs they'll ever have. Many fathers step up and care for their children, even if they are no longer with the mother. Unfortunately, there are some other fathers who would rather not be a parent at all. There are some cases where a man believes that he is the father of a baby that his wife or girlfriend is carrying, only to find out later that it wasn't his baby all along. And when that happens, it results in a few different reactions. Some fathers become angry with their child's mother for lying. Some men become extremely sad at the thought they're not the father after all. In most cases, the men sit there, silently, thinking about how they were blindsided with this news. Some doctors and nurses reveal what happens when a dad works out that the baby isn't theirs. A NICU nurse shared a story, and it is a sad one. The couple welcomed a baby who had an abnormality at birth due to a faulty gene. The child was missing a limb, but other than that, the baby was healthy. The doctor was discussing future appointments and possible treatment options when the mother asked the doctor what blood type her baby had. The doctor told the couple their baby's blood type was A positive, and that came as a surprise to the father. The baby's father knew that his blood type was O negative, as was the baby's mother. That meant their baby would also have O negative blood. The doctor rechecked the hospital record and verified the baby did have A positive blood. The medical staff even ran another blood test to be entirely sure. The baby's father left the hospital after the test results came back and didn't return until it was time for the mother and baby to go home. The nurse wasn't sure if the father was planning to stay with the mother when they left the hospital together or not. A man went to the hospital when he found out that his daughter was in labor with their first child. The hospital where the young woman was giving birth used a whiteboard to keep track of patients and their essential medical information. The hospital staff didn't use the patients' names because that would have been a violation of privacy. Instead, they used ID numbers. The young woman was the only woman giving birth on their ward at that time, and it was recorded that she had B-positive blood. When the man walked through the ward, he looked at the board, and he noticed that it said that his daughter had B-positive blood, and that stopped him in his tracks. He spoke with a nurse, and she confirmed that his daughter's blood type on the board was correct. Well, the man knew that his wife had A-negative blood, and he had O-positive, which meant that the two of them could not create a baby with B-positive blood. He discovered right before the birth of his grandchild that the daughter he raised her entire life wasn't his. In October, a woman went into the hospital suffering from labor pains. The baby's father was concerned because it was too early to deliver the baby. The doctors ran some tests and told the expectant father that the baby would be okay because she was 37 weeks pregnant. They let him know that that was far enough for her to deliver the baby safely. The father, however, was a bit confused and asked what the date of conception would have been if she was to be 37 weeks pregnant. The doctor told him that the baby would have been conceived in January, and that made the father to be very angry. He told the doctors that he was out of town that entire month, so the baby couldn't have been his. He stormed out of the hospital, leaving the mother-to-be scared and in pain. An ultrasound tech was performing a first-trimester pregnancy test for a soldier and his wife. During the ultrasound, the couple was giving the tech some information. According to the husband, he had just come back from deployment. The mother's last period lined up with the father's return from deployment. When the tech started the ultrasound, she discovered the woman was not 10 weeks along as she had initially thought. Turned out she was 22 weeks along. Well, that number appeared on the screen and the tech tried to cover it up, but the father-to-be noticed the number and asked what it was. The tech suggested that the couple speak to the doctor after the ultrasound because she did not want to get involved. According to a NICU nurse, there are ways a father can tell if a child is his. If a child has a chin dimple, then one of the parents has to have one. The same is true with Mongolian spots. These are birthmarks that are visible in the upper layers of a child's skin that are caused when pigmentation gets stuck in the lower layers. These only occur in non-white babies, so if a baby to white parents is born with that mark, something isn't right with the family. There are ways for a man to tell if a baby is his. The best way to be sure is, of course, with a paternity test. Has a story like this ever happened in your family or to a friend of yours? Tell us what happened in the comments below, and subscribe for more.